Okay, let's set the scene. Picture this. You are wandering through a sun-drenched Portuguese town. Doesn't matter if it's Lisbon or Porto, maybe, or even one of those little coastal spots down in the Algarve.
Yeah.
The cobblestones are warm under your feet, the air's bright, life's spilling out of doorways. But then something else hits you, this really specific, powerful smell. It's smoky, it's salty almost,
Mm-hmm.
sweet. It just seems to be everywhere, pulling you closer.
That is the distinct smell of fish.
Yeah.
But not just any fish cooked simply, intensely, perfectly over hot charcoal. And, what's really fascinating is that it's not just like a popular dish.
Right.
It's almost an environmental marker. It tells you where you are.
Exactly. It feels as fundamental as the azulejo tiles, those blue and white tiles you see everywhere, or maybe the sound of a tram rattling past. So the big question we're diving into today is, what is this delicious mystery? And why has this one simple way of cooking become the defining scent of Portugal?
Well, our mission here is really to get beyond just the food on the plate. We want to unpack a true cultural phenomenon. We're going to connect this ritual grilling fresh fish to Portugal's big celebrations, the specific science behind the cooking, and its deep, deep identity as a nation tied to the sea.
It's like a shortcut to understanding the country.
Precisely. You get a big piece of Portugal.
Okay, let's get into it because the timing is really important here. If you visit Portugal, say, between June and September, that grilled fish smell, it doesn't just get stronger, it feels like it becomes the official scent of summer.
Oh, absolutely.
And there's one particular star performer during those months, right, that makes it so common.
That's completely right. The main event, overwhelmingly, is the sardine. Sardines reach their absolute peak, then their plumpest, their richest, most flavorful during exactly those summer months.
Why then specifically?
Well, they build up the fat reserves they need. And that fat is crucial for hitting that high heat on the grill. Makes them perfect for it.
Ah, okay. And that peak flavor, it's not just good luck for anyone wanting dinner, is it? This is where it ties into something bigger.
Exactly. This whole food moment is deeply intrinsically linked to the Festas dos Santos Populares. That's the festivals of the popular saints. They basically take over the whole month of June.
It's when the entire country decides to throw a party.
A massive party.
Yeah.
We're not talking small gatherings.
No.
No. In towns and cities, especially Lisbon, Porto, neighborhoods just explode out onto the streets. Huge block parties. You've got colorful paper lanterns everywhere, music blasting. The energy is just electric.
Sounds amazing.
And right at the heart of every single one, you guessed it, huge smoking charcoal grills, loaded, absolutely piled high with thousands upon thousands of sardines.
Wow. I saw this really neat saying, o verão sardina no pão. In summer, sardines on bread. What does that tell us? It sounds so simple.
It tells you almost everything you need to know. About the celebration, yes, but also about the sort of pragmatism of Portuguese food.
Yeah.
In summer, sardines on bread. That's it. The fish are grilled, seasoned just with coarse salt, nothing fancy.
Right.
And then they're plopped straight onto a slice of rustic bread, usually a nice, thick, dense country loaf.
And that's genius, isn't it? Because the bread is your plate, basically, when you're in a packed street party.
Exactly.
But it also does something else. It soaks up all those incredible fish juices, the oil, the smoke.
It becomes its own side dish, soaked in flavor, a bit oily, smoky. Wonderful. And you eat it quickly, standing up with your hands. It's messy.
Yeah, I bet.
It's communal, totally unpretentious. It just captures that pure, unfiltered joy of a Portuguese summer festival. Its food is celebration, shared right there under the lights.
Okay, so from that street party vibe, let's shift a bit to how this translates into everyday restaurant cooking. Section 2, the art of the simple grill. Because you mentioned simplicity, and you really don't find complex sauces or heavy batters here.
No, you don't. The Portuguese approach, it's all about this beautiful simplicity. But don't mistake simple for easy.
Good.
It demands real skill.
Yeah.
It's all about letting the quality of the ingredient itself shine. No heavy batters, no masking anything. The whole philosophy rests on incredible freshness, the right fuel, and controlling that intense heat.
Okay, let's get a bit technical for our listeners. We know the method is grelhado, no carvon, grilled on charcoal. What makes charcoal superior? Why not a gas grill or just pan frying? Especially for whole fish, like sea bass or bream.
This is really the heart of the flavor. It's not
Mhm.
just the heat, it's the fuel. The best places, the little tascas, the good restaurants, they're very particular about the charcoal. Often it's specific woods,
Mm.
slow-burning, high-heat stuff, like olive wood charcoal, maybe vine
And
cuttings.
that burns differently.
It burns much hotter and cleaner than your standard barbecue briquettes or gas. Way hotter.
Okay, so what does that intense heat actually do to the fish?
It creates a kind of chemical magic, really. You can't easily replicate it. When a fatty fish like a sardine or mackerel hits those super hot coals, the fat drips down
Right.
and it instantly vaporizes on the charcoal. That creates smoke, but it's not that acrid, nasty smoke. It's this rich, aromatic plume that immediately bastes the fish. That's what gives it that signature smoky flavor, without actually cooking the fish for too long and drying it out.
So that smell we notice walking down the street, it's not just a byproduct, it's actually part of the cooking. It's flavor being added.
Precisely. It's the difference between just cooking something and, well, culinary alchemy sounds a bit dramatic, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, I do.
Plus, the fish is almost always grilled whole, bones in, sometimes even guts in, depending on the fish and the place.
Why whole?
Those parts help the fish hold its shape under that fierce heat. They keep moisture in, seal in the flavor,
Mm.
and often it's just flipped once. One careful turn.
Minimal handling. And what about seasoning? You said simple. Is it literally just salt?
Strict minimalism, coarse sea salt. That's it. No marinades, no rubs. They put it on liberally right before it hits the grill. Because the heat's so high and the cooking is fast, the salt works quickly. It draws a tiny bit of moisture from the skin,
Hmm.
just enough to get that perfect, crispy exterior, but without penetrating too deep and drying out the delicate flesh inside. It's a fine balance.
So beyond the summer sardines, what other fish are common? What should people look out for on these sidewalk grills?
So you'll often see bigger fish, too.
Yeah.
More substantial ones like robalo, that's sea bass, or dorada, sea bream, cavala, mackerel, is also very popular, all cooked the same way. Whole, just salt, grilled until that skin is blistered and crisp, but the inside is flaky and perfect.
And even if you're in a slightly more formal restaurant setting, the presentation stays true to that simple philosophy.
It absolutely does. Traditionally, it comes with really simple light sides. Maybe some boiled potatoes, perfectly plain, ready to soak up olive oil,
Mm-hmm.
and a fresh salad, often just finely chopped onion, tomato, maybe some peppers.
Nothing heavy.
Nothing heavy. Then everything gets a good drizzle of high-quality Portuguese olive oil. That simplicity is the point. Nothing should distract from the pure taste of the sea and that kiss of smoke.
It makes sense. And that smoky smell, it feels like more than just dinner's ready. It feels like a constant reminder of Portugal's connection to the Atlantic.
It is. It really is. This whole experience is just steeped in history. For centuries, Portugal was the sea, in a way. A nation of fishermen, shipbuilders, explorers. Remember,
Of course.
the ocean wasn't just nearby. It was their livelihood, their identity. And that history is definitely still alive today when you eat this food.
Thinking about that history, the Age of Discovery, those incredibly long voyages, how did relying on the sea back then shape how they eat fish even now?
That's a really key point. On those long sailing trips, fresh fish was obviously impossible, so they became masters of salting and drying fish. I think this is why bacalhau, salted cod, is also such a huge pillar of their cuisine. It was survival food for months at sea.
Right, the preserved fish.
Exactly. But when the ships were home, or for the coastal fishing communities, they went straight back to the freshest possible catch. That contrast reinforces the tradition. If it's fresh, local, perfect. You treat it simply, let it shine, grill it if it needs to last, you salt it like crazy.
So the simple grill is almost like honoring the immediate gift from the sea.
Precisely. It's celebrating the bounty that just came ashore.
So how does that history play out today for someone visiting? If you walk into a local restaurant, how do you see that connection?
You see it directly in the sea-to-table reality.
Yeah.
Especially if you go to a good, established tasca
Yeah.
menu. It's basically decided by what the fishing boats brought in that very morning. They aren't cooking frozen fish. They're not flying fish in from halfway around the world.
That sounds ideal, but maybe a bit romanticized. How does a visitor know that platter of fish the waiter brings out isn't just, a show? Are they just pushing the most common fish?
That's a fair question. And
Mhm.
look, you do have to use your eyes. First, check the fish's eyes. They need to be bright and clear, not cloudy or sunken.
Okay.
The gills should look bright red, but honestly, more fundamentally, these small local places, particularly the family-run ones, their entire business relies on trust. on the repeat business of locals.
Oh, reputation.
Exactly. A Tasca owner who tries to pass off yesterday's catch as fresh. They destroy their reputation in the neighborhood overnight. That honesty with the daily platter, it's usually genuine. It reflects what the sea actually provided that morning.
So when you choose your fish from that platter, you're doing more than just ordering lunch.
You really are. You're participating in this culinary tradition that sustained the country for generations. You are quite literally tasting the Atlantic and supporting the local fishermen, too.
You're plugging into that whole rhythm of the sea dictating the menu.
And that's it.
Okay, so we've got the history, the seasonal stars like sardines, the specific charcoal technique. Now let's get practical. We're walking through that Portuguese town. We want the real deal. How do we find it?
Honestly, forget the guidebook for this one.
Yeah.
Forget the map, the apps. Just follow your nose. Seriously.
Follow the smoke.
Follow the smoke. Look for that telltale plume of white smoke rising, usually from a grill set up right on the sidewalk. Listen for the sizzle. That smell, that sound, those are your best signposts, especially around lunchtime or dinner time.
I love that the directions are purely sensory. But what kind of place are we looking for? Should we aim for the fancy restaurant on the waterfront?
Generally, no. You want to look for the opposite, almost. The most unassuming places often have the best fish. Look for small, family-run spots, the tascas we mentioned.
Okay.
They're usually pretty basic inside, maybe a bit noisy, but totally unpretentious. They put all their energy into the quality of the ingredients, not fancy tablecloths.
So resist the urge to stop at the first place on the main square with the menu translated into 5 languages.
Absolutely resist. Don't be afraid to wander a block or two off the main tourist drag. Often the real gem is tucked away on a quieter side street.
Look for the locals.
Yes. If you see a simple sign, maybe handwritten, that just says Piche Grillado, grilled fish, and the place inside is packed with locals talking loudly, sharing a bottle of wine, you're probably in exactly the right spot. That's where you'll get the perfect meal.
Okay, that's great practical advice. This has been a fantastic deep dive into, well, the science and the soul behind just one smell.
It's amazing how much is wrapped up in it.
It really is. So the takeaway seems clear. Follow the smoke, find a humble tasca, and just embrace that perfect simplicity, charcoal, fresh fish, salt. That smell of grilled fish really is the scent of Portuguese summer. It's a taste of history, and it's like a warm, smoky invitation to just pull up a chair.
And, there's a final thought there, maybe something for you to ponder. This reliance on the daily catch, it forces a whole different relationship with food, doesn't it?
How do you mean?
Well, think about how different that is from places with huge fixed menus that never change, regardless of season or availability. This system, it demands adaptability from the restaurant, patience from the customer, and this deep, inherent respect for nature's timetable.
You eat what the sea offers today.
Exactly. You eat what's available and perfect now, not just what you plan to eat. There's a kind of humility in that, a respect for the ingredient itself. And maybe that's the real lesson you take home from the Portuguese grill.